Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys. How are we doing today?
Good morning, Skip. I'm good. That versus battle last night, Jeezy the Snowman versus Goot.
Yep.
They put a 15-year battle behind them. Skip.
You know, just me. I was actually watching Seattle and Arizona, but who knew? I don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
I actually watch sports. One of us has to.
You only got one TV?
Right?
All that money you got one TV.
Yeah.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You got 5 TVs in one room.
All I know is I'm going to have a lot more Diet Mountain Dew after this show is over because this is a huge NFL weekend, and we are about to do the do.
You got one last night, but you shouldn't even take that one. Kyle is your guy.
Yeah.
But you better give Kyle just because me and Orlando Scandrick picked Cardinals.
That is correct. Let's talk about it.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well, that's right. Let's get started with last night's game because for the second time this season, Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson went down to the wire. Kyler had a tougher time last night against the Seahawks defense and was held to only 15 rushing yards while getting sacked 3 times, including on the game-clinching 4th down play for Seattle. Now, Russ had just over 250 total yards with 2 touchdowns and no turnovers in the 28-21 win. So, Shannon, what was your biggest takeaway from last night?
Well, Skip, Seattle won the ball game. They were able to run the football. Carlos Hyde coming back was a big boost for them. And they didn't have to rely so much on Russell throwing the ball 35, 40 times. He did not put the ball in harm's way. But I'm still not convinced that their defense makes them a contender. I think they can. They threw the ball. They run. Now, if they run the ball like this and can keep their defense off the field, okay, all bets are off. But I don't believe they're going to continue to be able to run the ball like this. 165 yards last night. So I thought that was the biggest difference in the ball game, and Russ not turning it over. But both of these teams, especially take Seattle, they got issues. And the issue is that they do dumb things at the most inopportune times. Now, I want to show you 2 plays that's happened in 2 different ball games that led to touchdowns. And when you get playoff times, these are the type plays that get you beat. It got them beat one time. They won the game last night. Now, this is 3rd down. Skip, as bad as they play defensively, you get team 3rd down, you're going to get off the field. We won. We won. Watch Bobby Wagner. Okay, 15 yards. Yeah. That keep the ball, they go down the field and score.
It was dumb.
Last night, the ball is way over here to the left. DeAndre Hopkins is even looking around.
It was really, really not smart.
Exactly.
Yep.
8 penalties, 79 yards. That lead to a touchdown. Luckily, it didn't come back to bite you. Arizona, Skip, I don't care what anybody says. Once that kid hurt that shoulder, he was not the same. And it seems to me, because Seattle's defense is so poor against the pass, they went into the game saying, we're going to throw the football a ton. And then once the injury, they couldn't switch midstream. And he didn't have the juice on the ball that he normally would, because he had some opportunities to make plays, and they just weren't there because of that shoulder. And I've gotten tackled like that a couple of times, and he probably got like an AC joint or something, but I broke my collarbone and separated my shoulder partially on both of them. Yep. When you get pinned like that, Skip, and you can't get out from under it, and I knew right away, you see, Skip, he got up grimacing, and every chance he get, trying to keep that shoulder warm, throwing on the sideline. But Arizona commits too many penalties, Skip. They're number 1 in penalty, number 3 in penalty yards. Skip, you can't win. You can't go far playing like that.
Yep.
But Seattle, give Seattle credit, Skip. They showed me something. They showed me, like, look, we might not be the Legion of Boom, but we're bow our backs. We're just not going to let you come up here and get 500 yards and do what you did last time. I thought they did a good job, a great job, not a good, maybe the best job that I've seen of containing Kyler Murray. Now, that might have had something to do with that shoulder, Skip, and not wanting to take a shot on it. But for the most part, give Seattle credit. They won the game. It wasn't what Arizona didn't do. Yep. Maybe the shoulder played a little role, but I want to give Seattle credit last night.
Okay. I'm going to get to my man Kyler in just a moment. But my biggest takeaway was what I tried to tell you and Orlando Scandrick yesterday, which is simply this. In the end, you cannot write off or dismiss or underestimate 2 men in this circumstance, and that is Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
They have been here and done this many, many, many times before at the highest level, at the Super Bowl level. And you cannot underestimate the power of those two men on a Thursday night football game, national TV.
Russ don't lose on Thursday.
That's what I'm saying. Against a division rival that's becoming your arch rival that had beaten you 2 straight times, once in Arizona in overtime and last year at the end of the year on this turf that we were watching last night, albeit with no fans in the stands. But you can't dismiss them in a game like that. And I thought both of them rose and shone in their different ways because Russ did not turn the ball over after he'd been a turnover calamity for 4 games.
Yep, 10 in 3 games.
So in the end, as many problems as you've continued to say they have on defense, the defense to me is not bad, as in it's not bad. I keep looking at it and I say, wait a second, if you add Carlos Dunlap to all we should show Bobby Wagner, but he's still there, and KJ Wright is still there, and Jamal Adams is there, and he's back from injury. And I look around at Trey Flowers. They've got some talent on defense where I say they're good enough to contend in the NFC.
You believe that?
Okay, well, this is why I believe it. They now have, by far, the easiest remaining schedule. Okay? So I look at it, the combined records of their final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 opponents. Combined records, 8, 28, and 1. It's a cakewalk. Seriously, I will not at all be surprised if they win out on this schedule, and I'll whip through it in just a second. And if they did, they would be 13-3, and they would have the #1 seed, and they would have a week off for a playoff home game at home. Okay, here are their games. At Philly, maybe not. But they can win that game.
They could.
Then they get the Giants and the Jets back-to-back in Seattle.
Right.
Okay, Giants are playing much better, but still, they can win those games. Then this is the NFC least that they get to play. Then they go to Washington, maybe a little dangerous, but I don't know. They should. Then the Rams, their rival, obviously, their historical rival, more like in the division.
Right.
They have to go to Seattle.
Right.
Okay, that's the one. That's going to be the 50-50 game, but they could win it. And then they go to San Francisco, and I'm not sure what's left in San Francisco. Is the cupboard starting to look bare in San Francisco?
Well, San Francisco will rise to the occasion, the division opponent, and they always do.
Okay, but would you be surprised if Seattle wins out? I would not be surprised.
Skip, if the defense was better, I'd say, Skip, you're right. But I think their defense, there's some offenses in there that can take advantage of their defenses. And look, are you going to tell me they're going to run the ball like they ran last night? They kept the ball away from Arizona for over 10 minutes.
It's 35-25.
Yep. Well, you win with that because now you only got your defense playing 25 minutes of the ball game, where your strong suit is your offense is playing 35 minutes. Now, if you give me that, you say, Skip, you tell me, Shannon, they're going to probably be, maybe not 35, but somewhere even 30-32. I said, okay, Skip.
Okay.
Maybe you're on to something.
All right. I was impressed how they rose to that occasion last night on both sides of the ball. That's how capable they are of being a factor. Would they be an overrated #1 seed?
Right.
Yeah, they would be. But I think they are positioned. I think they are in the proverbial catbird seat to win the #1 seed in the NFC.
But I tell you what, even if they were the #1 seed, New Orleans, Green Bay, or Tampa would have no problem whatsoever.
I got you. But I'm just saying, I'm saying they are going to have to go to Seattle. Somebody's going to have to go up there and stop them.
Yes.
Okay, now back to the overriding takeaway of the night. Listen, I've told you for now 3 years, Kyler Murray is just a special little player, little big man. He's a mighty might. He has such extreme quickness of foot, quickest feet I've seen since Barry Sanders. And he has a cannon of an arm that was gone early last night, to your point. So if we could see that play again, it's 5:29 left in the first quarter, and it's L.J. Collier. And I remind you, he was a late first-round pick out of TCU. He weighs 290 pounds. And it's a coverage sack because Kyler waited, and then tried to bolt, and it was too late. And Collier, as you just pointed out, that you've been through, he rolled on, he bounced on him.
Yeah.
And he bounced with that shoulder tucked under, the right shoulder. And it took, remember, Kyler's a smaller man. This is close to 300 pounds on the move. bouncing on your shoulder.
And he Skip, and the thing is, I don't know why Kyler rolled like this. Normally quarterbacks try to roll not on that. I'm right-handed quarterback, Skip. I don't want to do anything on that right side.
Yep.
And he rolls, and the guy lands on top of him. So I want people to think it was a dirty play. It wasn't a dirty play.
It was not a dirty play. Although that's the hit in the pocket that they will not allow.
No.
But now you have bolted,
yes,
and now you are fair game.
You are a runner now.
Okay, and yet I've always lauded Kyler because once he breaks the line of scrimmage, he is so self-protected because he was a great baseball player. He's a great slider. He knows when to give up.
Right.
That was blindside.
Right.
That was a coverage sack where he's looking. I gotta. No, I can't.
Right.
And he takes off a little late and doesn't get enough of a head start. And Collier gets him from the blind side, and he couldn't protect himself the way you thought he should.
Right.
Okay? So he's grimacing, he's wincing. I'm going to guess at halftime he took an injection.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we saw Sam Darnold do the same thing on a Monday night game, Skip. He get his hurt, he goes out. Joe Flacco takes over for a couple of series. He goes to the locker room, gets that injection, he comes back out. So I agree with you. He probably took an injection in the AC joint.
Is it a sprained AC joint? Is it a slight separation? All of the above could be.
Right.
He's got guts. He'll fight, and he kept fighting with an arm that looked more like Tua's arm to me. Seriously, it did. It was more Tua-esque from that point on because, to your point, he lost the zip. Mm-hmm. He lost the velocity. He lost his range. He was a little hesitant to try to let it go deep.
And you look at his numbers, Skip, everything, 42 attempts for 269. So he was not pushing the ball down the field like Kyler Murray normally does.
And this is why the bottom fell out of this game for me, because I'm thinking, I thought it was going to be 38-35.
Right.
I thought both quarterbacks could at least go over 300 yards, if not approach 400 yards. It was going to be a shootout of a barn burner. And you know what? It degenerated into a lot of dink and dunk.
Yeah.
Because Russell's whole game plan was, I'm going to be careful.
Right.
Let's dink it and dunk it.
Right.
I'm going to hit my backs and I'm going to hit my tight ends.
Yes.
And for the most part, that's what he did.
Right.
Did Russ air it out very often? Not really.
He got the one he did, Skip. He got the pass interference on Pat P on DK Metcalf.
He got him late.
The only one that he threw really down the field.
He threw one to Metcalf earlier. To Metcalf earlier. That, remember, it got negated by a holding call that I thought was bogus, but whatever. Okay, so the point is the game is degenerating because Kyler can't wing it. And I thought he sucked it up. He still threw for, 269?
Yeah.
Not bad. And still in all, he drove them twice late. And the second one ends with the 3rd and 10 at the 27 because he got sacked on 4th down by Carlos Dunlap. But the throw to Andy Isabella on 3rd down was pretty good. It just didn't have the mustard.
Right.
It didn't have quite the velocity.
You could tell it hanging, Skip, because
hung.
Isabella, he beat the corner. Now Kyler has to beat the safety that's charging hard. That's an easy up and down. If Kyler's healthy, Skip, that's an easy up and down.
Okay.
That's a touchdown.
Yet and still, I thought, well, obviously, if that's D-Hop on that, he's going to catch that ball, right?
Yep.
He's just going to muscle it away from whoever's there.
I thought they did a good job on D-Hop.
Okay,
so basically they were doubling him, said, you know what, if Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald can beat us.
Well, they said you can't have him. But look, Andy Isabella, he is 5'9", 188.
Right.
He runs better than he catches, and yet that's a catchable football.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's going to be a good catch, maybe even a very good catch. Kyler took a shot right in the mouth as he threw it.
There's a reason why they let him in that situation, Skip. They're not letting Fitz, they're not letting D-Hop get in that situation.
Okay. But is this not a good throw without a lot of mustard on it?
Yes.
Okay, it's good enough. That's to tie the game, right? Or maybe, I don't know, would they go for 2? Who knows? But the point is, I love that throw.
Right.
And then Carlos Dunlap just smokes his guy on the edge on 4th down, and it's just over.
Skip, my question for the right tackle, why would you jump set a guy? Well, that's a 3-man rush.
It's a 3-man rush, and you get absolutely annihilated. You whiff.
You're getting no help.
Right.
He blocked it like he thought it was going to be a quick throw, like I'm trying to get his hands down. Why would you do that? Because once he gets the edge, it's over because everybody else is doubled up, Skip. You're the only guy that's one-on-one.
Yeah.
Why would you quit? Why would you set the guy in that motion?
Okay, and yet I wish that Kyler had just bolted quickly on that and just gone up the middle. But I know what happened. He's got a bad shoulder, and they're just saying, I can't risk it anymore.
Right.
I can't run at all. Maybe you should have risked it as the game's over. It's fourth down. But he ran for 15 total yards because they were not letting him run any zone read option plays, right?
And
because,
the thing, KJ Wright did a great thing, Skip, because of one of the plays I think, it was third down. It was 31. And they tried to run the zone read with Kyler. And KJ Wright's like, nope, I'm not going to let you get to the edge. And Kyler's like, well, I'm not turning it back in there because I see Bobby Wagner, I see all those other guys.
He's not
let me go and go down. Okay.
So we got about half of Kyler Murray last night. We got all of Russell at his most careful. Like he gave up. He wasn't trying to cook last night.
No.
He was not trying to cook.
He was not.
Right?
No.
He was trying to hand it off. And if you told me going in that they would hand it off, they would run the ball 3 more times than they threw the ball, that would be a shock to me. And they had 165 yards. Meanwhile, what did Kyler do? Well, he couldn't run like he usually runs. So what was it? It was that they threw it 14 more times than Seattle did. They ran it 13 fewer times than Seattle, and that ended up being the game. Yeah. Right?
I agree, Skip. But like I said, when I'm looking at their game plan, the way they approach the game, the Cardinals came into the game, they were going to throw the football. They were going to throw the football, Skip, 45, 50 times.
Well,
and then once Kyler got that shoulder hurt, Skip, we had been throwing. It's kind of hard to change midstream.
He still threw it 42 times.
He still threw it 42. Yeah. But the shots that they were anticipating on taking, I don't think they were there. Because, Skip, a lot of it was to the back end of the flat, little more short stuff.
Okay, so now to DK Metcalf. He has been lauded as revolutionary, right? Like we've never seen anything quite like him. He was the last pick in the second round. In fact, little Andy Isabella went 2 picks ahead of DK Metcalf.
He did.
Go figure.
Right.
Okay, so why didn't a lot of teams like DK Metcalf going into the draft? I watched a lot of him at Ole Miss, and he dropped big balls in big games. He would be wide up. He would smoke somebody by 5 yards and just sort of butterfinger it. Like the easier, the more likely it was he would drop it.
Right.
So what happened last night into the first half, right?
Yes.
He's on the back line of the end zone, and if we could see this play.
That looked bad.
Whew.
This was bad.
Russ just throws a lightning bolt on this play.
I thought it got, Skip, I thought it got tipped.
It didn't
That's what I thought he had first. Then I'm like, the ball hit him in the face.
Hit him in the face mask, and he didn't even get his hands up. I don't even know what to call it. You can't call it a drop because his hands weren't even on the ball.
Skip, maybe he needs to go to a clear mask. I know the dark mask, that's all cool. That's good. It makes you look tough and everything. But, bruh, this is a bad look. This is a bad look.
So, I mean, you can make a case this game shouldn't have even been that close because that's a 4-point swing right there.
And I can see, Skip, if he's looking up like this and he get caught in the light, but the ball is eye level.
Whew.
And the ball hits him in the face mask, Skip. And the thing is, he still don't know it's there that close to him. Because he hits him in his face and look where his head. It's like, what?
Well, it was hard for me to think he lost it in the lights because it was under the lights, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's eye level. It's not like he had to look up for it. Look at this, Skip. The ball hit him before he... So he might need to go to a clear mask.
Maybe.
I mean, I get the dark mask. Ooh, it look like Darth Vader. Ooh, that's a cool look. I mean, he all ripped up and yoked up, bro. You can't drop plays like that. No. To be that upper-level receiver, you got to do this consistently. Now, we've seen him have monster games, Skip.
Sure.
But then we see him go quiet, go dormant. Kind of like last week against the Rams. The week before, he burst out. And then this week, I mean, now, he did draw a long pass interference.
He did.
He had another one called back.
He did.
He dropped this touchdown. So he should have had a big, big night. But you can't have those, especially come playoff time.
So this is the classic case of what you didn't do in college will come back to haunt you in pro football. He had a reputation for dropping those kind of throws, and it reared its ugly head last night. And I thought back last night of all the great receivers I've watched. I never saw that happen to any of them.
That was bad. Yeah.
Right?
that was bad. Because at first, Skip, when I thought it was tipped. I say, well, a lot of times when the ball get tipped, your eyes jump and then the ball's up on you before you know it. But when Fox replayed, I'm like, bruh, that hit him on the face mask and He still didn't get his hands up. The ball had hit him before he even started to bring his hands
did
up.
Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp ever get hit in the face mask?
No. I ain't never got one that bad, no.
Okay, obviously,
no.
The great ones all drop balls.
Yes.
But they hit, your hands are up, right?
Yes.
Okay. Way to go.
Like I said, Skip, if it was in the light, Skip, but that's eye level, so there's... Look.
Ooh. That looked like it hurt.
It did hurt.
Right?
Yeah, of course it hurt. Because the thing is, it's like you standing on the sideline and somebody throws the ball and hits you side the head. You don't expect it. He wasn't expecting it. And so it got up on him quicker than he envisioned. Skip, and Arizona, Skip, I think Arizona's going to be good in a couple of years. I think they need a tight end. Get a tight end that consistently make plays for you. But the penalties. Skip, you can't win committing 10 penalties.
Agree.
You got him off the field, and then Drake Kilpatrick, he does what he does.
Now,
bro, you're off the field.
That's another one. What are you doing?
And what did they that leads to points.
Okay, now I got to hear if this injury is nagging or ongoing with Kyler.
We get 10 days, so that's a plus.
That's a plus. I still believe in him, and I like this team.
Yes.
And I picked them to win a wild card, and I'll stick with it pending what we hear back about Kyler. Is he going to be out for a while? Well,
they better hope Tampa does them a favor.
Yep.
That's what they're hoping, because now they're going to fall two. Now they'll be third in the division.
Oh, well, speaking of that, that's a done deal. Tampa is going to do them a favor. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we'd give me some due.
Done.
I get my case back from
Done
last
deal.
night.
It's time.
It's time to do what?
Yeah. It's time for Tampa to rise and shine on a night game.
You know the Rams got a guy that got a 99 rating on Madden?
Who's that?
Yeah, you about to find out the guy that you say you don't really see much.
Who?
You're going to see a lot of it.
Jared Cough it up? That guy?
No
mercy.
Hey, Undisputed listeners, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app right now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. Download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com now.
No mercy.
The Lakers officially acquired Dennis Schroder yesterday, sending Danny Green and their 28th pick from Wednesday's draft to Oklahoma City. LeBron reacted to the news on his Instagram story, calling Schroder a, quote, flat-out dog and welcoming him to a pack of dogs in L.A. So, Shannon, do you agree with that?
Pack of them. That's what we got. Yeah, you saw it last year. Took over in the playoff, didn't it?
I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, keep going.
Skip, I agree. I love the way Schroder plays. Hard-nosed, he's scrappy. He can score the basketball. He can assist the basketball, can get his own shot. He's tremendous in pick and roll. Played with Dwight Howard. Now, we don't know if Dwight's back, but the thing that Rondo did so well was play pick and roll with AD, play pick and roll with LeBron. Schroder can play pick and roll with those two guys and can pull up and shoot the jumper, where you had to worry about Rondo driving to the basket. You got to worry about Schroder shooting the basketball. He's a much better shooter than Rondo, and I believe he's a better driver of the ball than Rondo. Now, is he a better guy running the offense than Rondo? Absolutely not. Rondo's been an elite-level point guard, and he can still play at an extremely high level. But, Skip, Rondo's about to be 35. The question is, the Lakers at some point in time, they realize they got to start getting younger. And Rondo has, over his history, especially the last 5 or 6 years, has missed significant amounts of time. So you got to factor that in. Rondo's looking for a big payday. We don't got that kind of cheese, Skip. Not for guys like that. We saving our cheese. Got AD. You know, Bron could opt out next year. So he gonna opt out. He gonna want another pay, one of them $40 million paydays, because we doing the NBA a favor by, okay, we're going to sign off and going back, but, we're going to need that cap to go up so I can get paid.
So he's going to be the anti-Brady and take more instead
Don't worry about it. This ain't got nothing to do with Brady. We're going to get rings. We're going to pass Brady with rings, so don't you worry about us. Don't you worry about it.
Did you just go there?
Yes, I went there.
You know and I know that ain't happening.
That's going to happen. So, Skip, look, he can also take Bron off the ball. He can run the offense if Bron's on the bench. He can also take Bron off the ball if Bron's on the court. Let Bron, take a break. Schroder, do your thing. Dance with him right quick. You and AD having that. Because, you know, we got to be judicious with our time and our energy and our effort the first part of this season because you know we just got our ring, Skip. Man, can't even enjoy our celebration. I mean, you know, I'm supposed to go around and be able to, you know, now I think they do it like they do hockey. Everybody get the Stanley Cup and you take it around. So I hadn't even got my chance to have the trophy and take it back to Akron, to I Promise School and go around with the trophy. I was already back, because you mentioned he already back in the gym, in that lab, getting them shots up.
He better be.
Don't worry about us. But anyway, Skip, the Lakers defense, I like it. I like Schroder. I like this pickup. And the thing that I like most is that Rob Pelinka is not standing pat. He understands is that when you win a championship, you can't run it back. Nah, we can't run it back with the same people. Gonna come back a little different, a little stronger, a little better. Repeat.
The problem Pelinka has is a number of those people don't want to run it back because they're running elsewhere.
Yeah, they want to run it back.
Okay.
If we had the money to give Rondo, guarantee he'd be back.
I guarantee he wouldn't be.
Guarantee. But that's what we do. We get to pay. We about to get Rondo paid. Dwight Howard, what Dwight Howard say? Dwight Howard about to get paid. That's what we do. We get people paid. JR, Tristan, Dellavedova, Mozgov. We get you paid. The bag man will pay you.
Is that it?
Yep.
Thank you. My turn. I will be the first to give you that Schroder has flat-out dog in him. He plays with an edge, with a nastiness, with a tenacity that I love. He's coming off the bench for the most part, and he will change the whole tempo and energy of the game when he comes into it.
Yep.
He is afraid of nobody.
That's what I like.
And he's only about 6'1", so he has to play more with his heart and his guts than his physique and stature, right? So on flat-out dogness, he will be able to replace Rajon Rondo. Rondo, I think, is headed for the Clippers. We will probably hear this about 6 p.m. Eastern today when those deals can be announced. Maybe it'll leak before then.
Gonna be in the State Farm Center.
What's that?
Gonna be in the State Farm. That's Atlanta.
Oh, you think so? Now, why would he take the money and run to Atlanta to back up Trae Young?
What else?
Why would you do that? What's the point?
Why would he stay here and back up Pat Bell?
And to finish 10th in the Eastern Conference and miss the playoffs?
No, get them in the playoffs. The last time the Hawks been to the playoffs, get them in the playoffs.
Rondo will be the starting point guard for the Clippers next year. And the point that you continue to miss, although I think deep down you recognize it and it horrifies you, is that Rondo is more valuable in the biggest picture than Schroder ever thought about being, because Rondo's just a better player than Schroder all around, because Rondo has accolades that Schroder never dreamed of having. And if you look at their career numbers, they're similar, except Rondo's go up in the playoffs. They go significantly up because he is playoff Rondo. Schroder is not playoff Schroder. In fact, all of his stats go down. He's 14 points during the regular season. It goes down to 13. 3 rebounds down to 2. 5 assists go down to 4. He averaged 26 minutes in regular season games down to 23 because his coach is just saying, you know, he works in the regular season, but he doesn't work as well in the postseason. So that's who you just acquired. And he's got flat-out dog in him.
Got flat-out dog in him. But you notice when them guys play with Goat James, what happened? The minutes go up. Look at Caruso. What did he play in the regular season? What did he play in the playoffs? Keith Morris. What did he play in the regular season? What did he do in the playoffs? Dwight Howard. What did he do in the regular season? What did he do in the playoffs? That's what we do, Skip. Do you understand what we have? What we have is infectious. You get around us. Sometimes you just touch the hem of his garment. You remember that? You remember that? You think you that guy. You shake that guy's hand. You hug him. You know he's in the huddle. You like... Something comes over you, Skip.
Did you just call LeBron
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said. Okay. I just said with the guys, the hem of the jersey, they just touch it. And all of a sudden, something comes over them that they play beyond what they played in the regular season. Watch those.
Really? Well, I hope LeBron can actually raise people from the dead, because he may have to next year.
For what? Skip, you already know what's going to happen, Skip. You already know what's going to happen. You know this.
So just for those who have lost touch with this, Rajon Rondo has led the entire playoffs in assists twice in his career. He's led the NBA in assists 3 times.
Yes.
He has led the NBA in steals one year. He's a made man.
Yes.
He's got pedigree. He has stature. He's on the cusp of being a Hall of Famer. All he needs to do is go downstairs to the Clippers in the basement of Staples Center, bring them upstairs into the spotlight, beat the Lakers this year in the playoffs, and win a third ring with a third team.
That's awful presumptuous of you. But, Skip, I give you all that. We're not questioning what Rondo has done, but the injury history is there. And he's about to be 35. He's about to be 35.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're going to tell me we're just going to, hey.
He's a young 35. He's got one of those bodies you just roll out of bed and play playoff basketball.
You remember he didn't play in the playoff games? Remember?
He gets hurt occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah, but when it's time, he's there.
But that's the thing, though, Skip. We understand that. And we saw that last year. Remember his first year? He got hurt. Last year, he got hurt.
Okay.
So I'm not doubting what he is.
Back to your man LeBron's quote. Got no quarrel with the first half of the quote, but now we get to the second half.
What, the second half?
Flat out dog who's joining a pack of dogs? What, pack of dogs? Maybe a pack of kitties.
Hyenas.
Kitty.
Hyenas.
Kitty.
Hey, Skip, you saw what we did.
Wait a second. As great as LeBron is, as gifted and as great a performer as he's been, does he have flat-out dog in him?
Flat out.
No.
See,
that's the problem. Jordan had flat-out dog. LeBron doesn't. That's the essence of why Jordan is the GOAT. LeBron is not.
Yeah.
There's no killer instinct
you know what
in
I noticed?
LeBron.
If you know, you're a dog lover. The thing is that anybody tell you about a dog, the dog that you should fear is not the one that's barking. It's the one that doesn't bark. I had a dog, Skip. He didn't do no barking. Named Samson, called him Bo. He was an Akita. Do no barking.
Yeah, but an Akita he's got the stature to bring it.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Now I got the little Pomeranians. All they do is bark. Ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight. But that guy right, see, Skip, what you've done. And LeBron has allowed y'all to do this. Y'all take his kindness for weakness. Y'all see his generosity.
He is a nice guy.
Yes!
Like, too nice.
And y'all take that, take that for, oh, he weak, he ain't no dog. But don't let that fool you.
Okay, now let's go to his co-star, Anthony Davis.
Nothing but.
Got no dog in it.
All dog.
I am sorry, he's got none.
Skip.
Incredibly gifted.
Remember what y'all told? Y'all told me, I don't know if AD got that dog. I don't know if he's on that big stage. Could he rise to the moment?
Yeah, Charles Barkley kept saying that.
Did he check the boxes? I want to know, did he check the boxes?
He checked the bubble boxes. I'll give you that.
Skip, what about the regular season? The guy was first team All-NBA, first team All-Defensive, should have been Defensive Player of the Year. What other box do you need to see?
I need to see him win an out-of-the-bubble championship.
No, what you want to see...
When everybody is committed, all the other teams are actually committed to being in the playoffs as opposed to going home.
Skip, hold on. So they didn't have to come.
I want to see him win an NBA Finals against a team that somehow manages to stay full strength instead of losing in game one. Its leading playoff scorer and its heart and soul player.
Well,
in game one, they're gone.
No. What I want to see happen is your team not blow a 3-1 lead with the best player in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard. Everybody, there are a lot of people that say Kawhi Leonard was the best player. And how you lose 3-1?
Aha. Let there be Rondo. That's how you avoid that.
But no.
Give me Rondo. None of those 3 games happen. That's over in 5 games.
The thing that I love about history is that it cannot be erased. Now, we can teach you about it so it does not happen again, but you cannot erase it. So that's on his resume. Unlike, just like you, every time I start talking about my guy, what do you go back to? 2011. He can't, first of all, once that happened, 2011, it's disqualified. He's disqualified from GOAT conversation.
All-time superstar meltdown. That dog in him? Where? How?
Your guy had 3-1 lead.
3-1? You know how many epic fails the dogless LeBron has had? I'm sorry. It's just too many. Now let's go down the list. I'll give you Kuzma's got that flat-out dog in him, but the problem is they keep Kuzma in the dog house too much. He's in the dog house.
Any dog that I see got his hair colored, I know he ain't about to do nothing. He about to go to the Westminster Dog Show and be all dressed up. He ain't doing nothing, so stop it.
And by the way...
What about Keith? What about Keith?
Well, is he back or not? He's out there. He's like on the market. I don't know what's going to happen.
Market.
Yeah.
He gonna coming back.
Yeah. You know what? Dwight's got, I don't know if it's dog or edge or whatever.
Yeah.
He's got gray area in him.
Yeah, but see, we got to keep Dwight under control because Dwight get thrown out the first quarter.
Okay. So back to Rondo. And by the way, Rondo reminds me a little bit, I should say in reverse. My little girl, Hazel, my dog, reminds me of Rondo because she will bark and she will attack like a like psycho attack you. Yeah. And she is afraid of nothing. Well, Rondo barks all the time. In fact, barking got him into a big battle with CP3. With Schroder back in November at Oklahoma City. They got into it and he got a technical. And you know why he got a technical? He was yelling at him because Schroder said something to him, but he had read that Schroder grew up idolizing Rondo. Yeah. And that he early on watched tape of Rondo to try to pattern his game after Rondo. They're the same side. They're very similar. He's yelling at Schroder to respect your elder. And they're going back and forth, and the ref tries to stop it, and Rondo then says, why don't you get the, out of the middle of this? And he got a technical. Right. And then later, he got mad at Schroder again, and he went to knee and groin, and you cannot go there. And he was hitting the showers. He got ejected. Become rivals. Cost him $35,000.
Look here. I respect what you've done, but right here, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get my respect from you by taking you to the paint. By doing what I do to you, making you look bad, then you're going to give me my respect.
I'll give you this. Schroder might now have the biggest heart on the whole Lakers.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's all right.
I don't know.
I want you to have that same energy when we got another one. When we in 2022, when we dropping another one.
I don't need the same energy because it's not going to happen.
It's going to happen.
No, it's not.
Still.
You had a freakish occurrence. You had a pandemic. You won the pandemic championship.
Skip.
It's not going to happen again.
Skip, the freaky occurrence.
It was pure luck.
Let me tell you what the freaky occurrence was. It was 36 years ago on December 30th, 1984. Yeah. That was the occurrence.
Yeah.
You talk about what transpired last year.
It was immaculate, right? Isn't that what you told me?
84 was a good year. You remember the Macintosh?
Yeah.
1984, the Orwellian?
Yeah.
Skip, that was a great year. You know that was a great year.
It was.
It was a great year.
Yeah. So is 2021. It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, because 2020 is some bull.
Yeah, thank you.
I love the way the Lakers are shaped.
Thank you, AC.
It's going to happen again?
You would.
It's going to happen again.
You're a hater.
LA native. I got to go that way. But I feel like I blinked and it's already the start of a new season. Anyway, let's move on because despite allowing the second most rushing yards per game, DeMarcus Lawrence is confident the Cowboys will be able to keep Dalvin Cook in check on Sunday. It will be a tall order as Dalvin Cook leads the league in rushing and is averaging 119 yards a game. The Cowboys also find themselves as road underdogs to the Vikings by a touchdown. So, Shannon, will the Cowboys cover the 7 points, and will Dalvin go over his rushing average of 119?
No, they ain't covering nothing. First of all, when was the last time the Cowboys been favored? Can you tell me that? Yeah, that long. Everybody's been favored at least once this year, except them, probably Cincinnati and Jacksonville. So that's where that's how far America team has fallen. You're in the Jacksonville, Cincinnati territory. Jets.
I can't remember, but weren't they favored over Atlanta in game 2? I think they would have been.
But we're in week 11.
Okay, I got it. You're right. It's been a disaster.
Yes.
You know it, and I know it.
I love it. I love it. I'm taking the Vikes. I'm taking the Vikes to cover, and I'm going to say he doesn't get 119. He'll get probably 105. But they're probably
105 only?
105. But here's the thing.
I mean, most people think he'll get 105 on one carry.
No. But they're gonna probably be 150 to 160 as a team. That's what they're gonna do, and then the play action gonna be because first cousin.
He's now first again.
First cousin.
He used to be third.
Yeah. You saw what he did against Chicago, right?
I saw it. Yeah.
That was a virtuoso.
Oh, it was. They put up 19 points in that game. Virtuoso masterpiece.
Guess what?
Pavarotti at wherever he was.
Sydney Opera. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. How many points did Tampa put up against Chicago? Oh, they ain't nobody but Chicago. How many did your guy?
19.
No, your guy put up 17.
I thought it was 19.
I thought it was
21 to 19.
Dude. And then your guy had to do this. They had your guy see it. Okay, he forgot where he was.
This is about the Cowboys, not about Tom Brady.
Okay, well, I got the Cowboys. I'm give you the 7. He's not going to get 100 yards, but they'll have 100 plus 150 yards rushing as a team. The play action will be wide open, and the receivers, Thielen, Jefferson, Kyle Rudolph, big days.
Big days.
This is going to be a breeze. And as my boy Ha say, they're going to lay it on y'all thick.
Really?
They're going to lay it on you thick.
Wait, who says that?
Ha Davis.
I thought it was Ha Clinton Dixon.
No.
He used to be a Cowboy for like a minute, and Jerry cut him.
They're going to be laid on y'all thick.
Really?
Yeah, I can see. I'm scared it's going to get ugly for y'all.
Okay.
And I'm going to call you, too. Answer your phone.
Okay, so give me a score.
You know what, Skip?
Ugly. Give me ugly.
31.
Careful.
31-16.
You're going to give me 16 points? How?
He's 16.
Huh?
He's 16.
31-16. So that's a 15-point game, right?
Yep.
Okay, so before I get to this, I wanted to note that once upon a time, the Dallas Cowboys were your man LeBron's favorite team, but not anymore. He's now jumped onto the Arizona bandwagon, and after last night, I'm going to guess he's jumped off that bandwagon because he is a bandwagon jumper.
He was talking about Madden.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when you were growing, when Madden was first, in early days, you played with the Falcons. The Falcons weren't a good football team, but they had Michael Vick. They had that guy could nobody stop. Well, you're going to play with Lamar. You're going to play with Kyler Murray.
Yep. So LeBron, who grew up near Cleveland, where the Browns play, was never quite a Browns fan, unless they start doing some good things with Baker, and then he's back on the bandwagon.
When's the last time the Browns did something good?
They did in Baker's rookie year. That's when.
They didn't make the playoffs. That ain't good.
Didn't, but they made a run, and he made a run, and he looked like he was the new it kid. He's in every ad on my TV, every commercial.
Exactly.
Right? And LeBron jumped off that bandwagon as Baker began to struggle, and then he was true blue Dallas Cowboys, lifelong Cowboy fan like me, except I'm really true blue, and he has leaped off, and he's now rooting for the Cardinals. But this morning, he's probably scouring, looking for, maybe he's a Vikings fan now.
Whatever.
What have they won? 4 straight? They're hot.
Yeah. So in other words, so let me get this straight. Whatever city, and so since I'm from Georgia, I need to be a Falcon or a Hawk or a Braves fan, right?
Well, sometimes people grow up in a region but fall in love with another team, but they stay true to that team their whole life.
For the most part of LeBron's life, Cleveland has been bad. For the better part of his life, Cleveland has been bad.
Okay, so
since LeBron was a teenager, the Cowboys have been bad. So he's like, man, I'm tired.
If you're a fan, it's for better or worse.
No.
It's in sickness or in health,
No.
right?
No,
Till death do you part.
Well, you better take some medicine to don't get sick, because I'm bouncing.
Okay, you're bouncing. I have not bounced off my Cowboys. I get furious with them.
Yes.
I get angry with Jerry Jones, and I get angrier with the two Mikes, McCarthy, and I'd like to drop the other Mike, Nolan.
Hold on, but you say they were playing better defensively.
All of a sudden, they have given up and given in to what he's trying to teach, because Jerry just cut 8 free agents he signed. 8.
Yep.
They're all gone, including Clinton Dix.
Yes.
He just ridded the locker room of all the malcontents, except they weren't just malcontents, they were truth tellers. They're saying, what the hell is this? We can't play this kind of defense. What are you talking about? And Mike Nolan is like prehistoric in his thinking, because his father was a great coach in the league, or a very good coach. Yep. And Mike's been around a long time, and he won't change his ways to match today's talent and today's way to play in the NFL.
Are you sure the Dallas Cowboys defense has talent?
It's got a lot of talent.
Okay.
So who did Jerry rave about this week out of the blue, out of left field on his radio show when asked for bright spots? Dorrance Armstrong. And I'm like, Dorrance Armstrong? And then I start looking at the numbers. He quietly had a very good year, and he was a 4th-round pick 2 years ago out of Kansas, where he was first-team All-Big 12 as a defensive end.
That ain't saying nothing.
Okay? So all of a sudden, I'm looking at the rotation, and it has come to life right before my very eyes, not yours, because yours are closed to my Cowboys. But all of a sudden, that front is starting to look strong. Alden Smith has been a revelation, obviously, and DeMarcus Lawrence has returned from the dead.
Let that sink in.
He's returned.
He said the bright spot has been a 4th-round draft pick, but you got a ton of money tied up in a lot of other guys.
Okay. I told you Neville Gallimore, University of Oklahoma, can play. He can disrupt, and all of a sudden he's found a way into the rotation, and they are utilizing him. Ty Crawford can play, and I'm starting to see him flash off my TV. Randy Gregory was a breath of the freshest air, because he's a stud, man. He can fly off the edge. He gives you firepower they did not have across the front. Jalen Smith flies around. He's not always in the right place at the right time, but he plays with such energy. And the man who equalizes him, sort of brings him back down to earth, who plays off great, is Wolf Hunter. Leighton Vander Esch is back. He's the best run stopper on the defense. Sean Lee is back to play a few plays to stabilize the defense. And all of a sudden, they held the Pittsburgh Steelers, for what it's worth, to 46 yards rushing. So it wasn't 200. It wasn't 300. It was 46
You gonna hold
yards.
Dalvin Cook to 46?
No, they won't hold him 46, but they will hold him under 119. And you just agreed with
Yeah.
me. I'm with you. He might break 100, but he's not going to break 119.
Skip, you keep on. I mean, all these guys, Ty Crawford, Cindy Crawford, Randy Crawford, you're losing by double figures.
Okay.
You're losing by double digits.
I will take the 15 points.
No, you get
Why
7.
not? Well, you just said it's going to be 31 to 16. What are you talking about? Well, at least give me 10.
I'm giving you no point.
You've got conviction, man. You have the courage of your conviction. You just flat out said it's 31 to 16.
I tell you what I will do, though. I'll give you 7 if you give me the line in the Rams-Tampa game.
No. Well, what do you mean give me 7? Why would you?
The
that's
line
like
is 7.
double jeopardy.
The line is 7.
You're going to screw me twice.
No, Skip. The line is 7, the Vikes Cowboys.
Okay, but you believe it's going to be a rout. You said they're going to get blown off the field, if not run off the field.
It's going to be.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, Andy Dalton is back. And Andy Dalton is a pretty
back
good...
to doing what?
All he did was beat the hottest team in the NFC East right now, the Giants, with 2 late
Skip, that was
throws.
so long ago.
It was not that long ago. It was like 5 games ago.
No, it was not.
And then he got a concussion in Washington when the defense did not even show up. That's when they had flat out mutinied on Mike Nolan.
That was 7 weeks ago.
And he's concussed, and then he gets COVID, and he still doesn't have his sense of smell or taste. So he's coming out of COVID, but they got 2 weeks to get ready for a game that I don't believe the Vikings will be quite ready for, because they just had an all-out war, quote unquote, a division battle at Chicago. It was very physical. It was very emotional, and they pulled it out 19-13 because a Nick Foles pass that I thought should have been caught was just off the fingertips. That's how close they came to losing that game. It was 19-13.
Well, so how close? When was the last time y'all came close to winning?
Pittsburgh should have won the game.
No, you should not have.
Stolen by the referees. They did a great job, those referees. They were wearing black and gold that day.
Okay. Do you remember that 3rd down before they kicked the field goal? The guy hit Russell Wilson in the head. Did you remember that play last night?
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't call it.
Okay, but that didn't decide the game.
It would have given them first down, and they might have scored a touchdown, and it would have made the last drive between Callahan moot.
Okay, but they won.
Yes.
My team should have won.
No, they should not have.
Okay, and they know in their heart of hearts, we got this rolling now. Andy Dalton with 2 weeks to get more comfortable, to get back in the groove. My offense has weapons. And Minnesota's defense, Pro Football Focus ranks them 20th best. Minnesota's. Okay. They can be had.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Where do they rank the Cowboys?
I don't care. Because
y'all got to play defense, too?
Yeah, we played it against Pittsburgh. We have figured it out.
No, you have not.
We have come back to life.
You talk about Andy Dalton had 2 weeks. You can give Andy Dalton 2 months, 2 years. Andy Dalton is Andy Dalton.
You're talking about the guy who made 3 Pro Bowls, who averaged 10 wins a year in his first 5 seasons in the league? Really?
You do realize how long ago that's been.
Yeah. Listen, my team has become a factor again in the NFC East, and I don't love it because I'd rather them get the high draft pick.
First of all, they were always a factor because the division stunk from top to bottom.
They're 1 game out in the win column.
Yeah.
1 game out.
But you're only 2 games in the win column.
And they have by far the easiest remaining schedule.
No, you don't.
And they have 2 of the 3 division opponents at home.
Anybody they got to count.
They're going to win. And I promise you this. Remember I said this. My team is going to rise up and win one of these games that they, quote, unquote, shouldn't win, that they can't win. Watch. They'll rise up. Maybe it'll be this time. I don't think it will be. I'm going to say that the score will be 24-20, and I'm going to say that Kirk Cousins struggles in this game because he's always struggled against Dallas.
Last year.
He played, listen, Dak completely outplayed him.
No, he didn't.
And they took the ball out of Dak's hands. Remember, he's driving for the winning touchdown, and all of a sudden, they get it down to 2nd and 2 at the 11-yard line. Remember this? And they go, Zeke, 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 boom, 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 nothing. And that was it. That was game over, and they barely lost. They were on a roll to go. He had driven them from like his 10-yard line down to the 11-yard line, and they took the game out of Dak's hands.
Well, you don't have Dak. You got Dalton.
Okay, well, you got third cousins. And to me, what have I always said that he is? In the very end, he is an underconfident overachiever. That's who he is. And they try to protect him and camouflage him and hide him.
Got him.
And hand it off, and then trick him with a little play-action rollout. Roll out,
well,
look for Thielen. I'm looking for Thielen. Where's Thielen?
Well, maybe y'all should try that. Maybe y'all should try and trick him. Because Andy Dalton, you said Zeke's not going anywhere.
I
So you
got
want Pollard?
weapons. I got 3 weapons that are nuclear on the outside, and we will get the ball to them against this defense. They can be had. Kirk Cousins can be had. If he throws an early interception or gets a sack fumble, he unravels quickly.
What about Andy Dalton? Can Andy Dalton not be had?
I don't think he will be in this game. One thing about him, he's just even keel. Nothing bothers him.
You know
Unless
Zim.
you can cuss him.
You know Zim like pressure. You know your offensive line isn't very good.
Yep. At least I got 2 running backs now. I got what used to be Zeke, and I got Tony Pollard. He's a breath of fresh air because he's got wiggle to him.
So Zeke going over 100 yards?
No, when has he ever gone?
What about Tony
averaging
Pollard?
60 a game? They'll go over 100 yards together. Yep.
In the next 2 games?
Nope, in this game.
Nah.
So I'm going to say they keep it close, and I'll bet you one case. I will take the 10 points that you gave.
Straight up.
What are you talking about straight up? It's
Straight up.
7. You just offered me 7.
And you didn't take it, so I take it off the
then
table.
somebody's getting scared.
Took it off the
Somebody
table.
across from me is starting to chicken out.
Kinfolk Kirk, hang 31 on you.
Okay, I'll take 7 right now.
Nope.
God.
Nope.
That is the ultimate sign of respect for my team. You have come around.
Y'all get no respect.
I think I just made too strong a case, and you said, you know what?
I'll
You're
give you
right.
if you win 2 games in a row, I'll give you a little respect.
Okay. Well,
You think y'all gonna win 4 games the whole season?
I'm afraid we're going to win the whole division. That's what I'm afraid of.
Ain't happening.
Yep.
No mercy.
The Warriors' worst fears were confirmed yesterday when Klay Thompson's MRI revealed that he had torn his Achilles and is expected to miss the entire season. Golden State is now reportedly on the verge of acquiring Kelly Oubre from the Thunder to help fill the void created by Klay's injury. Now, much of the attention, however, will go to Steph Curry to lead the Warriors after a disappointing previous season. So, Shannon, how much pressure is actually on Steph?
Skip, there's a lot of pressure on him because now no Klay, KD's gone, long gone. No Klay. And what we've seen is that we've seen other top guys. We saw Russ take a team and get them to the playoffs in the Western Conference. We've seen James Harden do it, Skip. Get a team get a team in the playoffs in the Western Conference. The Western Conference is loaded. So there, and many believe Steph is a top 5 player. So he's got his work cut out for him. They went and got Kelly Oubre. Now, it just goes to show you that they're willing to spend any amount of money because the $14 million salary that they're going to pay him cost them $80 million in luxury tax. And they say, we don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
And they got that big new shiny building, Skip, with no fans in attendance. And I know they're talking about they're going to spend $30 million to try to get these tests. But Governor Newsom, you ain't getting nobody in that building.
Nope.
Especially not now.
Nope.
So there's a lot that Steph is going to have to do, and he's going to have to be Steph, the old chef Steph. He's going to have to cook on a nightly basis. Now, you got to remember, Skip, Steph has not played a full season since 2016-17. That's 4 seasons ago. He only played 5 games last year. And unless you Benjamin Buttons or LeBron James, you don't age backwards.
Nope.
So he's under immense pressure to get this team into the playoffs, even though there is no Klay. Now, I thought even with Klay, Skip, they were somewhere between 3 and 6. Now they're looking at somewhere between 6 and 8. The West is loaded, Skip. And I even thought, even with Klay, Skip, the days of them doing what they did previously, 73-9, 67-15, Skip, that's over. That's long. I don't care. And they are the greatest shooting guard combination, the greatest 2 shooters on one team assembled in the history. But they were never going to have the success they had in what was that, Skip? 2014, 15, 16? That's over. So he's under immense pressure to get this team into the playoffs, and nobody wants to hear an excuse because we saw Russ take a team, get them into the playoffs. We saw James Harden do it, and we saw, and granted, LeBron did it in the Eastern Conference, but we've seen guys take lesser with the talent, less talent, and get them in the playoffs. He's under that kind of scrutiny right now.
I'll go you one better. Not only does he need to lift this team into the playoffs in any way, shape, or form, 8 seed, 7 seed, 6 seed, because that's where they're going to fall, best case.
Right.
but he needs to be in the MVP conversation from start to finish. I'm not saying he needs to win it, but he needs to be in the mix of it.
Well, that's what it's going to take to get him in the playoffs.
Okay? If he's not in the MVP mix as he turns 33 years of age, people are going to turn back the clock and look at the back-to-back MVPs he won in 15 and 16, and they're going to attach an asterisk to each one. And they're going to say, with Klay, right, both times, and they're going to say, I'm going to throw this in. Remember, Andrew Bogut was your 5 in those 2 years.
Right.
Andrew Bogut was the first pick in the draft.
Yes.
Don't underestimate that. He was, at the time, the best passing big man in basketball. He was the shrewdest of operators because he could pick and roll like crazy for Steph. He could get Steph free. Okay? What I'm saying is when you have a shooter beside you who can get even hotter than you can get.
Right.
Because now we've seen what Klay can do. He can score 37 points in a quarter without missing a single shot. He went 13 for 13 in a third quarter and 9 of 9 from 3 and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Seriously, Steph is the greatest shooter I've ever seen, but he can't get as hot as that guy can get.
Right.
Because the other guy rivals him as the greatest shooter ever. And to your point, they're obviously as a duo that there's never been anything like them before, not even close.
I remember when Mark Jackson first said that, people like, can they play? Oh,
well, that's when he was the coach.
Yeah, he's like, oh, there we go. Oh, the hyperbole. He said, no. He said, these are the greatest two shooters.
And he was way right.
way right.
And he got to coach them at practice every day, and he would just, I'm sure, sit back in awe about, like, huh?
Are they really shooting like this? Are they really doing this?
Yeah, they really did. And I was in awe of Steph in 15 and 16, just in and of himself, because I'd never seen anything like this before. So in 15, he wins MVP with 44% three-point shooting. Every year in here, he led the league in free throw shooting at 91-ish%. And he made 286 threes, the first
which was
MVP,
the record.
Which was the record. He topped it the next year with 402. 402? And he led the league in scoring in 16 with 30 a game, led the league, and shot 45% from three. We'd never seen any kind of a shooting display like this in the history of basketball.
And Skip, that was the year he went 50, 40, 90.
Okay.
50% from the field, 40 from three, and 90 from the free throw line.
He made 50%. He did 45% for the three. Okay. So where he started to lose me a little bit was those playoffs came, and they're up 3-1 on your guy, and then disaster struck. 3 games of disaster. Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7 was back at Oracle in, quote-unquote, Steph's house. And he lost me a little bit. I lost a lot of respect because in those games, 5, 6, and 7, here's what he shot in those 3 games. 22 of 60 from the floor. That's 37%. From 3, 15 of 42. That's only 36%. Remember, he's 45% in the regular season. He averaged 4 turnovers in those 3 games and only 2 assists in those 2 games. So the turnover ratio was horrible. And he was a combined minus 20 in those 3 games. Now let's look at the fourth quarter. It got way worse in the fourth quarter of those 3 games. He shot 6 of 20 from the floor. That's 32%. 3 of 12 from 3 in the combined 3 fourth quarters. That's 25%. He shot 0 free throws in all 3 fourth quarters. That's just wrong. And he was a combined minus 12 in the 3 fourth quarters. And especially that final fourth quarter at Oracle, he was horrendous.
Well, Skip, what really set it off was he went behind his back and he threw it out of bounds.
That might have been the turning point of the whole series.
So in the Game 7, but Skip, you have to be, with these guys, you have to be willing to accept the good with the bad. Because how many times had he made that play behind his back to Klay in the corner for a 3? He done it so many times.
Yep.
And so you're right. But Skip, the thing is, he's gonna have to be Chef Steph, because a lot of people say, yeah, you went along for a great ride with KD. Because
that's a whole nother issue.
Because KD...
He didn't win an MVP, obviously, but he went along for the ride twice.
But, I wouldn't say he went along for the ride, Skip. But, I mean, he was unbelievable in no playoffs. It's just KD was just out of this world, on another planet.
But remember, Steph has never been a finals MVP because Iguodala was the first time, and then KD.
Well, they should have gave that thing to Steph.
Okay, well, he made a case. I'll give you that. But the best player on the planet was Kevin Durant.
Well, the question is, Skip, how good is James Wiseman going to be?
Well, is he going to be Andrew Bogut right out of the box? I think not.
All I know is that I'm not letting Steph Curry beat me. Andrew Wiggins, if you can do what Klay Thompson can do, have at it.
Okay, I agree. I like Kelly Oubre. I do. He's a nice player.
He had a career year last year, 19-6.
Okay, I like him. Is he?
No, he ain't Klay. Hell no.
He's not Klay.
No, I mean, he ain't. Okay. I mean, Klay is an elite.
All right.
3-and-D guy.
Okay, so Draymond's still there, but once upon a time he was a second-round pick.
Right.
He's overachieved, and he's been very good.
Well, he's going to have to get back. He's going to have to get back to what he was, Skip, in those final appearances run.
Yep.
Those years, 15, 16, 17, 18.
He was making case for MVP.
With the triple-doubles. And he's going to have to be that again. Maybe he was injured. Maybe, Skip, it's hard. I mean, he was the third fiddle, and then KD comes. Now you're down to fourth. So now he gets back to his normal role. He ain't got to worry about stepping on anybody's toes or saying something because, Draymond's going to be Draymond. And Draymond stepped on somebody's toes. They got upset. And, that upset the whole apple cart 2 years ago. I don't care what anybody said. It was never the same after that. Oh, man, this happens all the time. That, the heat of the moment, Skip. We got all that. We got all the cliche talk. Saying that, nah.
Yep, I agree. So my bottom line on Steph Curry is he was all world, like out of this world for those few first years. And now it comes time to validate what you once did as you're 33. And more he has become obsessed with playing another game called golf.
Right.
And I saw it do in Tony Romo in Dallas because he started to have delusions of grandeur on the golf course, and he started trying to qualify for the U.S. Open. Steph has been playing in a lot of events, including some pro events that allow him in.
Yeah.
Well, are you going to recommit to this? Because you got to decommit to golf if you're going to do this.
What they don't understand is that the worst golfer will beat the best amateur, beat the brakes off him.
Yeah, but
and that's what Tony Romo's finding out. Do they realize how, just like, that man, he can shoot. Okay, you put him up against these great shooters, Steph or Klay, and he get the doors blown off him. You have to understand, these guys are perfect. Skip, that's their life. Yeah. They didn't just pick this up. Phil Mickelson and DJ, they didn't just pick that up. That's not a hobby to them.
Well, trust me, golf gets in your blood because it's got a hold of me, and it won't let go. And he's got it in his blood, and it will be the undoing of you if you're not careful in your later career.
You see my guy? My guy ain't got no hobby.
You know what? He does not play golf. That's the one thing I admire about him.
Ain't got no hobby.
He does not play golf.
You know what my hobby is? Winning titles. That's what his hobby is.
Playing Arizona Cardinals.
Don't do that,
Madden.
Don't do that.
What he does. That's your hobby.
No, don't do that, Skip. you such a hater.
Way to go.
Ooh, no hobby.
I love my cuz Steph Curry, but this is all great news.
No mercy.
On the Cardinals' second offensive possession last night, Kyler Murray was sacked and appeared to be in pain after landing on his shoulder. Cameras caught the Cardinals QB wincing in pain on the sideline while warming up the entire rest of the game. Now, after the game, Kyler said he was good and didn't use it as an excuse, but Cliff Kingsbury admitted his QB banged up his shoulder and wasn't sure the extent of the injury. We're now joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick. Michael, how much of a pass do you give Kyler for what appeared to be a shoulder injury last night?
Well, I don't necessarily give Kyler a pass for playing through pain. That's something that he's going to have to endure for the remaining of his career. He'll probably play almost 60% of the games in his career hurt. But, at the same time, he'll have to find a way, find the will to win. And I thought he did a great job last night. Actually, I think the Arizona Cardinals should have won the game last night. They was in position so many times, but so many flags, so many penalties, so many things ill-advised happen to always push them backwards. But, in terms of Kyler, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the way he battled. I'm proud of the way he played through the injury. And, in my second year in the league, 2 AC joint sprains, both shoulders, sprained thumb. still had to find a way to get it through, to get it done and get through. So, these are things that's going to happen, elements that he's going to have to deal with. But sometimes playing hurt makes you play better. Makes you focus in more. It gives you more of a sense of presence around you, and things happen. You're more aware. You're more ready for the things that's going to happen or things that can come at you on defense. So, I'm surprised that Kyler continued to play through the injury. I don't think he was hurt as most people thought he was, but for him to continue to play and battle through it said a lot about him.
Well, for me, the thing is that having played through injury, Skip, at the end of the night, all they saw was a black jersey with Murray on the back.
That's correct.
And once you're out there, Skip.
And by the way, what have you always told me? If you play, you have no excuse.
You got no excuse.
All right.
And a lot of times, Mike, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of times I had to shoot shoulders up, shoot ankles up, shoot ribs up. People didn't care about that. All they saw was 84 and sharp. Go make them plays. You're healthy. And so I'm sure after he okay. People forgot all about Kyler, got fallen on in the first quarter. They expected him to make those plays. But I thought it affected him because I think they went into this game, Mike, saying we're going to throw the ball because Seattle's defense is so poor against the pass. We're going to throw. And Kyler was not able to push the ball down the field. That throw to Isabella, that's an easy up and down throw because Isabella, all he has to do is beat the corner, which he did. Now Kyler's job is to beat the safety that's going to be hard charging because it's single high safety. But because he wasn't able to get it up and down, the guy was able to make the play. But like you said, Mike, you got to make those plays. You're going to be in a situation throughout your career. You're going to have ankle problems. Your quarterback's going to have an elbow, shoulder, something, and you got to find ways to get it done. He didn't do it last night. 10 days is a long time off. They get that treatment. You can't go anywhere now, Skip, because you still got to get COVID tested every single day. So there's no way, you get a bye week, but it's not the typical bye week where, guys would go. Maybe they go home or go to their college or go on vacation. You're stuck in Arizona. So he'll be able to get treatment around the clock, and hopefully it's not too serious. But you can't win the game with Kyler Murray having 15 yards rushing. You can't win a game when they have 57 yards. And you damn sure not going to win a game when you commit 10 penalties for over 100 yards, Skip.
Agreed.
You're not winning games like that. They're not good enough to overcome that many mistakes, mental mistakes. So give Kyler credit for playing through it, but even if he was injured, Mike, you got to find a way to try to you got to find a way to win that game.
Find a way to win.
So before I answer, back to Michael. When you sprained your AC joint, did you sprain your left shoulder, your throwing shoulder? And if so, how did it feel to try to throw the football with a sprained AC joint? Or could you throw?
Yeah, I sprained my left AC joint and my throwing shoulder, and I have a right AC joint sprain on the other side. And I also had a sprained thumb, all at the same time. But, the will to win, the will to, just be able to celebrate with my teammates in the locker room was all I wanted. So I would go to extreme measures.
You took shots. You took the injections, Mike. That's what you did in those AC joints.
You know what? I don't think so.
You didn't take no medicine?
No, but look,
you better man than me.
All week. I got treatment all week, and understand this, Shannon. I was a quarterback, but the pain, it was tough. It was grueling pain in my throwing shoulder because the downfield throws, the throws that was down the field, 25 yards or better, the throws that had to have velocity on them. I couldn't throw them the way I wanted to throw them now that I recollect. But just the sure will to win got me through. I just kept pressing. I did everything I could throughout the week to make sure that I could get to the game and hopefully not re-injure the injuries and just keep going. So, it was tough throwing the football, but somehow, some way, being 22 years old, I was able to get through it. Being 30 years old, I think I would have been complaining to Andy Reid and probably would have set 1 or 2 games out. So, it's a big difference. When you're young, you can handle, the punishment. You can handle everything that comes along with playing hurt.
Yeah. You ever had an AC joint problem?
No.
I had it. Dave Durrison, rest his soul. I caught a 7 route at home in a preseason game.
Yep.
And Dave Durrison tackled me, and I landed just like Kyler. And it did both of mine. Skip, I couldn't pick my arms up like this here. Okay. So to throw a football, I ended up getting like 3 shots. I took in both AC joints, and I got them up under the armpits. And then once I did that, Skip, I was like, I could fly. So for Kyler to be able to throw the ball in that kind of pain, you take your hat off to him, Skip, because I know what he's going through.
Okay. This has been my biggest frustration in covering the sport that you two played at the highest level. I've always wished there could be some kind of machine whereby I could stick my hand in it for 5 seconds and feel what you're feeling in your shoulder or Kyler was feeling in his shoulder last night. Just for 5 seconds. Because if I could feel it, then I could gauge. I could say, well, that's not that bad. Or I could say, God, how is he even on the field?
Yeah.
And we all were born with different pain threshold, pain tolerance. Some of us have it, some of us don't. I don't know Kyler's. I'm going to think it's pretty high.
Right.
And I'm going to think it was really uncomfortable last night to try to throw a football because, to your point, I love Kyler Murray. I've watched every play he's played, I think, in college and pro football. And last night, he lost his zip. He lost the mustard on his throws. That throw to Isabella, it hung. It looked more Tua-esque than Kyler-esque because Kyler has got a flat-out cannon.
Yeah, he got zip.
Again, I'm not saying it's quite Michael Vick's cannon, but it's up there. And he can throw it long, and all of a sudden he had no range last night because I don't think he could muster it up to throw it that far. And then they couldn't run it a lick because I think they wanted to protect his shoulder. So they took the zone read completely out of the offense. And it's not who he is anymore, right? He still threw it 42 times. And the throw to Isabella was catchable. If it had been to D-Hop, he's going to catch that ball. But Andy Isabella's 5'9", and he runs better than he catches it. So in the end, do I give him a pass, even though if you're out there, there's no excuse? I do give him a pass. And I was proud of him like Michael was. I think he sucked it up and played through it and did about as well as he could. He still threw for 269.
I mean, but think about it, Skip. You remember Drew finished the first half after his injury.
Drew Brees did.
And
he's playing with multiple fractured ribs and a punctured lung? Are you kidding me?
So
he threw like 8 more passes.
He did.
You want to talk about pain threshold?
Exactly. And I'm telling you, but like I said, that AC joint ain't nothing to play with.
No.
No, it ain't nothing to play with. And as a quarterback, and Shannon, you know this, any other position, when you're a starter at your position respectively, you love your backup, but you don't want your backup in the game. You don't want him to go in the game and finish. It's no hate. It's no jealousy behind it. You just want to be the one to finish the game. And if you finish the game and you play hurt and y'all win, you want to be glorified for that. Nothing against the backup positions, but we always want to keep those guys in the backup position and ready in case they're needed. Other than that, as starters, hurt or not, we want to finish the game.
Yeah.
There's the expectation level. Skip, you're not, hey, you're going to be okay, right? Just take the week off, see how you feel. Skip, they make you feel so good. Just take the week off, get some rest, get your treatment and see how it is on Friday. We'll test it on Friday. You test like, ooh, I don't know. But, hey, we still got a couple of days. What do you think about this ejection? All right. Yeah, I wish you had that machine, too, that you could touch somebody and feel what they feel.
Wouldn't you'd like to have it right
I don't want to, because I know Skip had a fractured eye socket, dislocated elbow.
But maybe your pain wouldn't be my pain or vice versa.
But you have to understand, though, the AC joint for a quarterback to throw. Okay,
are there grades of AC joint?
Oh yeah.
Like maybe it's a lower grade.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I dealt with I covered Emmitt Smith all those years, and he was deathly afraid of the needles. He wouldn't take the injection. Yeah. So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, the tough part about a shoulder sprain, AC joint sprain, is that as a quarterback, rhythm is everything. You get your rhythm throughout the week. If Kyler can't consistently throw the ball, and he's going to have to throw the ball in practice, then this could be a lingering effect. So this is something that he might have to play with and get treated for the remainder of the season.
No mercy.
Tom Brady and the Bucs play host to the Rams as 4-point favorites on Monday, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Both teams are coming off bounce-back wins following disappointing losses. We are now joined by Rams legend and Fox Sports NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. So, Eric, who wins on Monday night?
Well, as Skip gave me the name, the Rambassador, I'm wearing my Ram shirt. I got to go with my Rams. I feel like we're going to win this football game. I feel like we're playing a lot better than we were a couple of weeks ago, especially we lost to Miami. We're playing a team that likes to push the ball upfield. This is not a Bill Belichick team with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, I still say, is an older guy, Skip, an old man playing quarterback. He's doing a great job. But, he doesn't have the luxury of having a James White in the backfield, a guy who caught 14 passes at Super Bowl when they came back and beat Atlanta. He has Ron Jones. And they're not the same kind of receiver coming out of the backfield. Our defense is going to put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady. When we played Russell Wilson last week, we sacked Russell Wilson 6 times. And Tom Brady is not mobile as Russell Wilson. So I expect our defense to play very well. I'll put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady. And, being Bruce Arians likes to push the ball upfield. He's not going to try to dump the ball off. I think that's going to hurt Tom Brady trying to hold the ball, and he can't scramble. So I'm going with our defense to put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady. And it's like most quarterbacks. I don't think all quarterbacks. No quarterback likes to get hit. And I go back to when Brady played with the Patriots and they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. And I felt they lose that game because of one reason. I felt that defense had put enough pressure on him to hit Tom Brady and get him off rhythm. And I think that's what happened, in this Monday night game.
If you look at the 3 games that they've lost this year, Skip, what have teams have been able to do? It's 2, New Orleans beating once in Chicago.
Yep.
They could pressure him with 4 and not sacrifice the back end.
Agreed.
And so when you look at Aaron Donald, second in the league in sack, has 9 sacks. Leonard Floyd has been a godsend. For whatever reason, Skip, he could not find his footing in Chicago. He's come to the Rams, and he's been I think they selected him with the 8th pick in the draft, Chicago did. That's what an 8th pick in the draft should look like, what we've seen. He was NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week for his 3 sacks on Russell Wilson. Skip, the reason why I'm going to take the Rams is that if you look at what gives the Rams problem is pressure. You look at when they lost to the Dolphins heated him up. But
Jared Goff.
But what the Dolphins could do that Tampa can't, they're back in. See, they got 2 $17 million corners that's very experienced. See, Tampa's back in, they can be had with double moves, Skip. They should have lost to the Giants. They should have.
But they didn't.
Drew Brees made them pay. You see, when they got their eye, got them old lazy eyes, they looking in the backfield, you're not playing the receiver, you trying to play Drew Brees. How you going to stop Drew Brees? You can't tackle him. You need to worry about the guy that you covering. And Sean McVay will take advantage of that. They're going to get them big plays down the field.
Yep.
J. Ram, pretty soon you're going to have to start mentioning him for Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to be on Mike Evans. Done deal. We're going to roll the cup now. Chris Godwin might have a big game because we're going to double AB.
Are you?
Double AB.
So now you're a we Rams.
Double
so
AB.
you're the Rambassador.
No. That's ED the Rambassador. But Skip, I like what the Rams can do. They can pressure with 4. Back end is pretty good. J. Rams has been great this year. So I like that. And their offense. You know Sean McVay dialed that thing up now. He ain't like your guy up in Dallas, the more unimaginative plays.
Yep.
We got a lot of stuff coming.
Coming. So I need to go back to Mr. Dickerson. Can you give me a range of score? You say Rams by what? 3 touchdowns? Give me some idea.
I'll say Rams 24-20 Rams.
Only 24-20 after the case you made for a wipeout?
Hey, let me tell you, I didn't say wipeout. I said a win. I said win. I didn't say wipeout. It's all about wins. We don't care how you win. Just like when the Bucs beat the Giants. I mean, they won. We don't care about how you win. You win.
If you guys took down Russell Wilson 6 times, don't you think you could take down Tom Brady, the statue? Like, he's already a living statue, right? A monument unto himself. He can't move a lick. Well, wouldn't you take him down, 8 times, right?
I'm not saying that. I'll say we will get to him, pressure him, and put it. And Skip, you know this as well. And Shannon, you know this also. Quarterbacks don't like getting hit. They don't. They don't like pressure in their face. They don't like getting hit. And Tom Brady's no different from any quarterback that plays. So, and one thing about the Bucs is they want to go deep down the field. That's Bruce Arians' offense. He doesn't like he doesn't have the back to come out the backfield like a James White. He doesn't have that guy.
The Rams are tailor-made for what they do, Skip, because inside with Brockers and Donald, that pressure's right there.
Okay, so what's your gut feeling? Two touchdowns?
No. I got the Rams 28-24.
28. So you guys are picking a 4-point game after you told me it's going to be death and destruction for Tom Brady.
I mean, Tom Brady is a great player. I say we're going to win the game. Y'all favored by 4. So that's an 8-point swing.
Okay. So the reason I am loving this conversation from both of you Hall of Famers is because I didn't hear this same conversation leading up to the couple of weeks ago on Sunday night New Orleans game at Tampa. And what happened that week? Remember, Brady on the fly in the middle of a pandemic is trying to instill and install the Patriot way in Tampa Bay. And it's difficult because he's got a lot of young players who don't get what's happening. They didn't get that week that, oh, wait a second, New Orleans is still pretty good. What did everybody say going into the New Orleans game? Hey, the Bucs are the best team in pro football. They got the best defense in pro football, and they got Tom Brady. All I heard that week leading up to a game that I obviously picked Brady to win was the Bucs got this, and they started feeling themselves and smelling themselves, and they thought as a young team that was 7-9 just a year ago, they thought they could just show up at home on a Sunday night and say, here, you guys just lay down and let us run by you, right?
Right.
Did not happen. It was the all-time disaster game. The Bucs defense never stopped Drew Brees. They really never stopped him. It took a fumble to stop him on the 2-yard line, right? And before you looked up, it's like 35-0. Okay, so what did we see last night from Russell Wilson? We saw him at home finally say, you know what? Enough of this stuff. We have lost to this team twice in a row, once at home last year, and I have been turning the ball over like a madman for 4 straight games, and I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm not going to do it tonight. Watch this. That's what Brady will say on this Monday night. And I agree with every point you both made. This is a terrible matchup for Tom Brady because the Rams can get after him with 4. There is no doubt. Obviously, Aaron Donald requires 3 in the middle. And I'm sure right as we speak right now, they're in meetings trying to figure out, how can we, what do we do?
Well, you got your left guard back. Isn't he coming back this week?
Marpet,
yeah.
Ali Marpet. Yep, he's really good. He's one of the better left guards in football, and he's missed 2 games with a concussion. I assume he will be back, especially
he better be better than good. He better be great.
He better be great. So what has started to happen slowly but surely, Tom Brady is starting to develop a new wavelength and connection with Antonio Brown. They just had not played together very much. He played for a minute in New England. What keeps happening? His targets are going up. His catches are going up.
Yep.
He will be the key to this game because you can get him the ball fairly quickly out of the slot. You can use him more like an Edelman or an Amendola to start the game with, just to try to establish that on 3rd and 3, I can hit him for 4 yards on an option route because he is hard to cover. Are you going to bracket him? You probably will.
Yep.
But I believe that the X factor on one side is Antonio Brown, and then Eric, help me out. The last time Jared Goff was in the state of Florida, what happened to Jared Goff? I think it was in Miami. Do you recall that a few weeks back?
I do recall that, but this is a different week. This is a different football team.
Okay, but he turned it over 4 times in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I started calling him Jared Cough, as in cough it up, because he was coughing it up all over the turf. Well, isn't he good for just a couple of turnovers under the heat that Todd Bowles will turn up on him?
Well, here's the thing. The difference is, Skip, yes, Todd Bowles is going to pressure, but Todd Bowles don't have Xavier Howard and Jones on the back end. That's the difference. You can run all that zero coverage, but Tampa's young receivers, they guess entirely too much.
The corners.
Yeah, the corners. Hey,
Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean.
You guess against Sean McVay, you know the double move's coming. With Cooper Kupp and Wood, they're coming. So, okay, y'all go do your thing, Skip, but we got something for you. We got something for you.
Antoine Winfield Jr.
Yes.
Making a case for Rookie of the Year.
He's making a case for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is.
Thank you very much. I just think this is the game that Tom Brady says, you know what? I'm sick and tired of stinking it up in big night games in prime time. I don't want another Chicago. I don't want another New Orleans. It is time for me to rise and shine tonight, Monday night.
And I mean, then he turned it over too. You know, he turns the ball over a lot in those games too.
I was just going to say he turns it over too now.
Yeah, you make it seem like he, yeah.
So what are you predicting, 3?
Hey, I'm predicting Aaron Donald going to get him.
Yeah. I love how you guys are big and bold, and then you pick 4-point wins.
What you picking?
So what's your prediction?
Oh, you're 41. Are you thinking another Carolina game? Tampa gonna beat them like they beat Carolina? That's what you predicted?
Nope. I'll take your score in reverse, 24-20.
Oh, wait a minute. You talking about that guy's top? There's one guy. Hey, Edie.
I didn't say wipe out. No, I didn't make any case for wipe out.
There's one guy I don't bet against, and he's not gonna want to stake it up.
Okay, on their schedule, there's not a worse matchup than this team for this quarterback.
And what about Jared Goff? You just said last time he was in Florida.
I agree. That's my only hope. Jared coughed it up, and Antonio Brown.
That's your only hope. You're right.
Well,
yep.
Hey, guess what? Brady got to play offense too, so he got to face a defense also, ED. Aaron Donald, Rocker, Kaiser, Leonard Floyd.
Up on Ramsey over there.
Yeah, up on Tom Brady's home bulletin board in his bedroom, he's got this quote from Eric Dickerson. He's an old ass man. That's what Eric Dickerson said on Undisputed. Old ass man.
I'm gonna say this: the last time we played an older quarterback with Bruce Arians, we played Carson Palmer in London, England, and I told my friend Roy Green. I say, Roy, Aaron Donald's going to end his career now. And that's exactly what happened in that football game. I don't want him to end Tom Brady's career, but let me tell you something. Aaron Donald's going to get to Tom Brady.
Get him.
So last quick thought, Eric.
Yes.
Have you been surprised at how well Tom Brady has played this year at 43?
No, I expect him to play well. I really do, because he is Tom Brady. I mean, he's a great quarterback. He's a great competitor. Bruce Arians is a very good coach. I know it's going to be hard because of different offense. That's the problem. He's been in an offense, Bill Belichick offense, for 20 years. And all of a sudden you go to another team. I know what that's like. Everything is different. The numbers are different. The routes are different. The way you run the ball is different. The numbers on the running usually is 2, 4, 6, 8 to the right. Sometimes they flip around 1, 3, 5, 9 to the left. So it just depends. I mean, it's a lot of things that's different that he has to process. But I'm not surprised how well he's played at all.
He ain't played well as Mahomes and Rodgers. So what we talking about?
Talking about MVP.
No, you ain't talking about it. Okay.
Well, it's going to be a fun matchup Monday night. Eric, thank you so much for joining us.
No mercy.
The Chiefs are looking for revenge against the Raiders after Vegas handed them their only loss of the season. And to add fuel to the fire, the Raiders team buses did a victory lap around the Chiefs Stadium after the win. Mahomes and the Chiefs find themselves as the third biggest favorite of the week at 8.5 points. So, Shannon, will the Chiefs win and cover the 8.5?
Well, Skip, I think the thing is that there's a lot of motivation. I heard Travis Kelce talking about he's looking forward to considering what they did last time they won the ball game there. I think the Chiefs are going to win this ball game. Now, it's going to be very interesting because they got a lot of COVID. A lot of guys they got like 8 guys, 9 guys out, and they got to keep testing negative.
Guess whose fault that is?
Theirs.
It's the head coach.
Right? And they're probably going to get a big old fine, too.
Yeah, well, they've already gotten
They're going to get some more.
They lost their draft pick already.
They're going to get some more fines, too.
Because the head coach just ignored it.
Yeah.
No.
It sounds like something like Al. Like that's something Al would do.
Yep.
and not even care about it. Skip, I'm going to say they do cover because even though they beat the Chiefs last time, Mahomes was off just a little. He was off just a little. He had a couple of plays with Tyreek Hill, and he's slightly underthrown, and the guys were able to get back and break those plays up. Would have been long touchdowns. So even though with that being said, he still threw for over 300, 340. I think he had 3 touchdowns. So with that being said, I'm going to say they do cover. Derek Carr had his best game of the season, I believe, in that game, Skip. But if you look at the previous 3 games, he was averaging 143 yards passing. The key for the Chiefs is being able to stop the Raiders' run game. Josh Jacobs has been on a mission, Skip.
Yep.
And, we didn't see a whole lot of him in Alabama with he was like, man, that's all he played. He only played got 150 carries. But he had that breakout game against your Sooners.
Yeah, you know why?
Because they snubbed him.
Because he's from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they just said, who?
Yeah, and they waited till the very last minute, and Coach Saban had them swooped in there and got it.
Swooped.
So I'm going to say they do cover. I'm going to say they cover the 8.5. Mahomes put a little bit more distance between him and the other MVP contenders. I'm going to say they do cover this spread 8.5.
You don't seem to have much conviction about this because you were actually tiptoeing around your prediction when I thought you'd say this is a blowout.
No, Skip. Here's the thing. This is a division rival. These two teams hate each other. So they didn't really need any extra added motivation between driving the bus around the stadium. Bop, 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 bop. They didn't really need any motivation.
By the way, that's something you would have done.
Oh, totally.
Right?
That had me all over. I mean, I don't like that Gruden did it, but I can see me. Hey, let's take a lap.
Let's take a lap.
Yeah, okay. A little lap.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say they do cover. I'm gonna say Mahomes throws for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
He'd better. He is in the brightest spotlight. This should be his MVP signature game where he just lights them up. He should throw for 500 yards.
Nah, he gonna throw.
It's a revenge game.
Yep.
It's a revenge on the bus lap, the victory lap game. And it's possible, I don't know this for a fact, but it's possible Patrick Mahomes is going to be playing the practice squad defense for the Raiders because all the COVID is hitting the defense much harder than the offense. In fact, I've yet to hear of any offensive COVID victims so far.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, it was the offense. Yeah. Remember, the whole offensive line was out.
I got it, but I think they're back. I think.
Well, Cleveland Farrell and Corey Littlejohn, they tested positive, so they're probably out. Now, the other guys that high risk, as long as they keep testing negative, they'll be able to come back.
I'm just not sure. But it also could be the practice squad because they've had to elevate a bunch of guys from the practice squad. And they even said yesterday, we have no idea we can even run out there.
Right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't you think that Mahomes, away from home, should have a monster game?
Well, Skip, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be without this many starters, obviously it makes it. But, you don't underestimate anybody, Skip, because that's the last thing you can do. It's like, oh, man, they down Abram and LaMarcus Jordan and Hankins, and you underestimate somebody you said. But that ain't the reason not going to let that happen. They got motivation, just like they had motivation when they played you guys last year. And they went back to your building, beat your brakes off you in New England.
Oh, now I'm a New England.
Yeah, you Tom Brady. You don't bet against Tom. My homeboy says, bet against him.
Yeah, but when the chips were on the table, you don't bet against Brady at Kansas City in an AFC championship
Like you say, he was a pup. He was a kid.
No, he's a pup.
Yeah. Only first year start.
You will be sweating this game on Sunday because your man is in the crosshairs because this is an MVP caliber game where you need to really put up big numbers and separate from the field because if you don't, people are going to be looking side-eye at your performance here because as I keep reading you out of Pro Football Focus, even before the bye week, because they're coming off their bye, that Pro Football Focus said Patrick Mahomes has had an inconsistent year. Well, period, end of story.
All I know is the sports books got him as the favorite.
Okay.
I know USA Today got him as the favorite. I know other publications have him as the favorite. That's what I know. I mean, all that other stuff I skip, I don't like to do conjecture. I don't like to do speculation or innuendo. But that's what we do know.
Well, I won't do any conjecture or speculation when I tell you the only thing I know about what's happened so far this year is that the Raiders went to Mahomes' home and won 40-32 and outplayed the home team in every way, every statistical category. They put up 480 yards to 413. 413 is really good, but 480 is really wrong for your defense to give up at home.
Well, that's on Chris Jones. Honey Badger going to have to do a better job to make sure they don't possess the ball like they did last time. Make sure they're not running the ball like they did last time. And my homeboy is not going to be off. The likelihood of him being slightly off again is not very good. I can see him coming out of this game being 30-1. 30 tubs and 1 INT.
Wait, what is he now?
25-1.
So you got him for 5
I can see that happening. 29-1, 30-1.
Okay. I'll do over under 5. I'll take under 5 for a case.
No, do 4. I do 4 tubs.
You'll do 4 touchdowns for a case?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do that.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saw you coming.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think you did.
Saw you coming. I knew I could get you.
So the point is that the Raiders are being a little overlooked on the other side of the ball, which is their offensive side.
No, their offense is good.
Pro Football Focus ranks them 8th in offense.
They're good.
And they're 8th in points scored per game.
Because, Skip, they can run the ball better than you think. They can run Josh Jacobs can really run the football. And they got guys. Aguilar's found a home. Had Aguilar been like this in Philly, he would still be in Philly. Skip, remember last year he had a touchdown against the Falcons? Walking to him, hit him in stride. And he dropped it.
Yeah.
He's dropped more than he's caught. But at Oakland, he didn't drop anything. Hunter Renfrow just keeps making third down catches, getting behind people. Henry Ruggs, you know he has blazing speed. And the Williams kid. And you still got to deal with Waller.
Got to deal with him. Yeah.
So offensively, they got a good offensive line. Trent Brown, they got the Colton Miller. They got Hudson. They got a very, very good offensive line. No, they great. Because they do a great job of protecting Derek Carr, but my homeboy on another level.
So, very quietly, Derek Carr has 16 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. So, only 2 interceptions. Yeah. Could he throw 3 against Kansas City? Sure he could.
It ain't going to be better than the 40 we going to throw.
So, 8.5. I think I'll take the 8.5 for another case.
Nope.
You won't even do that?
Nope.
Against the practice squad defense?
That ain't a practice squad. Skip, you don't know, Skip. We're still 2 days away. They can continue to test negative and be able to play.
8.5, and you don't have that much faith in the homeboy?
Let that sink in.
He's the runaway MVP, says you.
Let that sink in for just a second. You're on the road. When was Tom Brady 8.5 point favorite on the road this year? Against who?
Okay, so what? That's a great point.
Yeah,
you should have faith in your man.
That goes to show you what my guy can do, what my guy is capable of.
Okay, well, is he?
Yeah.
Well, he should win this by a couple of touchdowns, right? If he doesn't, I'm really going to come in here on Monday saying, what MVP?
You're going to say 29. He's like, no, what you're going to do is say the Raiders were overrated and they had the practice squad out there. You'll want to give my homeboy.
Well, if they do.
Hey,
I'll be taking names. Sunday, I'll be taking names.
Are they NFL players?
Not really.
Yeah, yes, really.
Yeah.
Yes, really, they are.
No mercy.
The Michigan Wolverines started the season with high hopes and an AP ranking of 16th. But it's been all downhill for Jim Harbaugh and his team ever since. Michigan has gone 1-3, which is the program's worst start in over 5 decades. And many have criticized Harbaugh for the team's results despite the talented roster. So, Shannon, why has this gone so wrong?
First of all, the roster's not talented. And if you remember, Skip, they performed better when he had Brady Holt's players. Because they said Brady wasn't maximizing, they couldn't win, yada, yada, yada. We need Harbaugh, a Michigan man, play for Coach Schembechler, and he knows what it takes. And I told you, old khaki pants, his message gets old. And if you really look at it, Skip, granted now, he doesn't get the level of player of Ohio State. That's why they keep these high draft picks keep coming out. The Chase Young, the Nick Bosa, the Joey Bosa, the Zeke Elliott, all these guys, the Denzel Ward, the Jeff Okudas, all those guys keep coming out year after year. Skip, the highest rated draft player that they had was a third-round receiver. You ain't beating Ohio State with a third-round wide receiver. That's not happening. Skip, it's over for khaki pants. His message is falling on deaf ears. Skip, Michigan State's a bad team. They got blown out 2 years in a row. Yeah. Michigan State's a bad. No, they lost to Michigan. They lost to Michigan State.
Right.
Michigan State's a bad team. Blew the doors off them. Wisconsin blew the doors off them 2 years in a row. Skip, it's over. It's over. What am I paying $9 million a year for, Skip? Tell me that. They go to all these nice places. They going to Disney. They going to the Vatican. They going to Australia. They go to all these places. But let me tell you where khaki pants hasn't taken them. To Indianapolis. Well, Shannon, why would we want to go to Indianapolis? Because that's where the Big Ten championship is. That's where he hasn't been. Guess where else he hadn't been, Skip? The college football playoff. He hasn't been there either. So for $8-9 million a year, you haven't been to the Big Ten championship. You haven't been to the college football playoff. And I'm paying you to go, what? When the last time you won a bowl game? Alabama beat the brakes off you last year. You lost the year before. So what am I paying for, Skip? You getting Dabo and Nick Saban, and you getting all these top-tier coaches' money, it's over. Let me tell you what's going to happen, Skip. They're not going to fire him in the middle of the season. It's going to be, we decided to part amicably. You know, you get that a lot of time. After much thoughtful consideration, me and such have decided to live apart, to raise our family separate. But our love is still for the key. We get that all the time. We get those. That's what's going to happen here. Michigan and Jim Harbaugh going to go their separate ways, amicably.
And you are going to be a happy man.
It don't matter to me.
You're going to celebrate. You're going to gloat.
No, I ain't gonna gloat. Skip, you got to be, at some point in time, you got to beat Ohio State, Skip. You can't keep losing to Ohio State. If Nick Saban, you lose to Alabama, Auburn 2 or 3 times and see what happened. If you're at Auburn, you lose to Alabama 2 or 3 times in a row and see what happened to get you up out of there. You can't lose to your. They ain't even come close, Skip. They getting beat 60-17 to Ohio State. Gotta go.
Yet year after year after year, Ohio State is the most talented team in all of college football because they are the pro pipeline. I know Alabama is close, but to me, Ohio State, everywhere I look, they're just loaded on both sides of the ball. Okay, here's why I defend Jim Harbaugh. Because for the longest time, I thought he might be the best coach in America on either the pro or the college level. Look what he did. He started out as a young coach at the University of San Diego and turned them completely around into a team that in his 2 years, went 22-2. It's a nice start. Springboard to Stanford. What happened? Turned them completely around. They ended up going 12-1 was their best year, and they won the Orange Bowl 40-12 over Virginia Tech. That'll work, right? That springboards him into the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, cornerstone NFL franchise. And what does he do in his first 3 years there? He goes to 3 straight NFC championship games. What? And his overall record as the 49er head coach was 44-19-1. That'll work.
That'll work.
And the 3 championship games produced 1 Super Bowl that they should have won. And the starting quarterback was a young man named Colin Kaepernick, whom Jim Harbaugh had the guts, the courage at midseason to elevate into the starting lineup over the first overall pick in the draft in Alex Smith. No, I'm going to change horses right in midstream because this kid's better than that guy.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so I'm not even sure there'd be a Colin Kaepernick without Jim Harbaugh. He gave him a chance because he saw something in Colin Kaepernick that now we've all seen in bigger and better ways beyond football. So they got to the Super Bowl, and I thought they were going to win the Super Bowl because I thought a Crabtree play in the end zone should have been called pass interference. And it came down to that. That's how close Jim Harbaugh came to winning a Super Bowl. But 3 straight years, 3 straight NFC championship games, and twice they ran into the Legion of Boom at its height.
Right.
And it's hard to go win at Seattle against that team. But they hung in and came close in those games. And then, right on schedule, as you correctly point out, he will burn you out on him because he's high maintenance.
Yes.
He is hard to get along with, and that edge can create greatness or it can create descent to the point that it's chaos.
It's going to be great for a short period of time.
Okay. So he had his 3 years in the sun in San Francisco and springboards back to his alma mater where he had college glory. He was a really good college football player and also a very good pro quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
They came within 1 throw.
Right. A Hail Mary.
Hail Mary into the end zone that could have been caught, should have been caught, of getting to the Super Bowl.
Yep. Against your Cowboys.
All right. Thank you. So the point was...
They might have beat your Cowboys, too.
No. Are you kidding? That team, that was the talented team I ever saw. That was Deion's team.
They might have got beat 60-6.
It might have. So the point is, he goes back to his alma mater, and I thought, he's going to corner the market on college football talent because it's Jim Harbaugh. It's Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
There's a cool factor because he was the 49er coach.
Right.
Didn't happen.
Right.
Could not out-recruit Ohio State or Alabama or Clemson or Oklahoma or whoever you want to throw up there. He couldn't do that.
Right.
He was getting 2nd and 3rd tier college players.
You can't.
But the one thing you have to have if you're Jim Harbaugh and you're going to call the plays, you better have a trigger man. You better have the quarterback. Well, he wound up with Shea Patterson transferring from Ole Miss up there. Shea Patterson's just he's just like a pretty good college quarterback who, remember, the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs, gave him a chance to walk on with them, basically. That's an undrafted free agent. And he couldn't make it. Now he's in that spring league. So that tells you that's who Jim Harbaugh was trying to win with. And he had that one run that year, and I won some due from you off the run. Yeah. But that was in how many? You said they wouldn't win more than 5 games.
Right.
Well, they did win more than 5.
Right.
But once they got to Columbus, Ohio,
the wheels came off.
They lasted for almost a half, and then the wheels came off.
Right.
They really came off, and they have way too often.
Right.
Okay, so now he had this kid, Joe Milton, and the first time I saw him this year, I thought, you know what? That kid's got a chance to be pretty good. He's not very good.
No.
He's lost his poise. He's lost his confidence. And you know what? It's like John Gruden. Jim Harbaugh is hard to play for because he is very demanding.
He grinds you down,
especially at that position.
Yes.
He's hard to play quarterback for.
Right.
And if you don't have a quarterback and you don't have any pro pipeline going on in your recruiting, you're going to be a disaster. And this thing is, they're 1-3 playing at Rutgers Saturday.
Rutgers might get
1-3. I'm saying, Rutgers beat Michigan State to start the year.
But Skip, if they lose to Rutgers, he might just about to just go ahead and go.
Well, it could be. That they might just say that's enough.
Yeah, Skip. I mean, you can't be. Look, we know he's not beating Ohio State. We already know that, Skip. So.
Well, he's not just not beating them. Can you even avoid embarrassment or?
No, you cannot. You cannot avoid embarrassment. No. And like I'm saying, Skip, you getting $8 million a year. They gave you everything you asked for.
Yep.
And you've given them nothing in return.
Yep.
I mean, 10-3, that's not good enough. That's not good enough, Skip. That's Michigan.
And in school spirit and pride, that school ranks near the top, if not at the top.
Yes.
So they're not going to stand for this.
And Ohio State just treat them bad.
No mercy.
Aaron Rodgers will be tested this week on the road against a tough Colts defense. Indy has the league's second-best passing defense and finds themselves as slight home favorites against Rodgers and the Packers on Sunday when they square up on Fox. So, Shannon, who wins this one?
Skip, the Colts are so confusing. I mean, they go on the road and they blow out Tennessee. And then they're in control against the Ravens.
Yep.
And then they look like I just can't figure them out. But I'm taking the Pack. They're very the Colts are very good defensively. They play mainly shell cover 2. Eberflus, the guy they got from the Cowboys, who even though sneaky guy snuck out of the deal, jilted them right at the altar, and he's like, you know what? I signed up for this. I'm going to stay on. They brought Frank Reich in. Who knows, Skip? Looks like a blessing in disguise.
I agree.
And he has them playing really, really well. Phillip Rivers is what's confusing. Because 1 week, Skip, now you look what he did against Tennessee. Boom. I'm talking about look great. 300 yards. And then against Baltimore. And then a week before, 3 interceptions again. So I'm going to take the Packers. Rodgers, second in the MVP, my MVP. They got Bakhtiari back. Lazard comes back. Last time we saw Lazard, he had a $146 in the tub against New Orleans. He's back. And now you're going to get him with Devontae. Now, I know Darius Leonard's a little upset because Aaron Rodgers, he felt Aaron, disrespected him by not mentioning him with the great middle linebackers. The B-Wag, Bobby Wagner, David, and Devin White. He didn't mention
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner, you're like, whoa, wait about me. It's good. We all, the great players, when you talk about other great players, and hey, mention your boy now, or else you have to see me. Okay? Now it's his job to make him after this game. What do you think about Darius Leonard? Phenomenal talent. But Rodgers going to get this dub here in Indy.
You sure about that?
Positively. You want a case of do on it?
Yep, I do. You walked right into that. Thank you.
I did. Okay.
I got the home team.
Okay. You give me 2.5?
No, you just took the bet. You just said you just picked them to win the game outright.
Hold on. Did you know the Packers are the first team in NFL history to average 30 while only committing 5 turnovers in 9 games?
Oh, that's highly impressive. That's why there are no points in this deal. It's just you got them straight up. Did you know the Green Bay Packers are now the #1 seed in the NFC? 7-2. Here they come.
My guy don't turn. The real number 12 don't turn the ball over like that 4-12.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The unsung MVP, shadow MVP. So this is a huge game for Aaron Rodgers because he needs to, again, assert himself back into the MVP race. And he's having, yet again, statistically, a great year. He's also had a couple of stinkers along the way.
He had one, Skip.
He had one at Tampa Bay, and it was all time.
Was the one he had at Tampa?
3 quarters without scoring a single point.
Let me ask you a question. Was the game that Aaron Rodgers had at Tampa, was it worse than the game that Tom Brady had at Tampa against New Orleans? If you had to weigh one, which one you played was worse?
I'll give you that.
Okay.
That's the lesser of evils.
They don't lesser evil. Yeah. Your guys had to take a timeout to kick a field goal to score.
Yeah. Did my guy throw almost back-to-back pick sixes? No, he didn't throw any pick sixes.
Your guy threw 3 picks, though.
Okay, he threw 3 picks, but your guy threw almost back-to-back. The second one almost got returned for a touchdown. You went to the 2-yard line.
Skip.
Way to go.
Y'all
Congratulations.
won. You won.
Okay, we won 38-10. So here you go on the road against an unsung defense. I'm not sure people have focused on Darius Leonard's defense because it's really good.
They are.
You could make a case it's playing the best of any defense. Good.
You got to be able to stop your run, though.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones back. You know, you like Aaron Jones.
Well, he's the MVP.
Stop saying that. No, he isn't.
He's the real Aaron.
Okay, what happened when he wasn't aware? When he wasn't there? Aaron Rodgers was Aaron Rodgers. Did what he did and kept this thing in the row. Even with Bakhtiari, even with Lazard, he still did what he did. Skip, you know it's A-Rod. A-Rod makes the Packers go.
Phillip Rivers loves to play against great quarterbacks.
He does.
And I think he will have one of those games that will make you scratch your head and say, where did that come from? He is completing 69% of his passes, which is second best in his whole career. So he's having a pretty good year. Not big touchdown interception numbers, 11-7, but he's had a couple of big games where you say, I can't believe he did that.
Well, Skip, the thing is that the Colts run the ball okay. Hines run the ball, and they got Jonathan Taylor, the big kid out of Wisconsin. So the question is, Green Bay's defense isn't very good. You know that, I know that. They don't do very well against the run. Dalvin Cook had his way with them. And a few other teams have had their way with them running the football. If I'm not mistaken, San Francisco was running the ball well. San Francisco, but I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to be too much. I think they get, Phillip Rivers gives them 2 turnovers, and they win this ball game. And I get 2 cases to do off you.
Well, what do you mean 2 cases?
Because we got the Vikings bet, and we got this bet.
Oh, I thought we had a Mahomes bet for 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah, we got that. Right. So 3 cases then.
Oh, there we go.
Woo!
Okay.
Just loading up.
Are you?
Can I get some of the? We talk about the Rams and the Tampa on Monday. Molly get another case.
We might have a couple of cases on that one.
Oh, you feeling good over the weekend?
I'm liking this one a lot. I think Indy is very underrated at home. Here we go.
You want to put another case on?
No.
No mercy.
Without Drew Brees under center, it's being reported that Taysom Hill and not Jameis Winston will get the start against the Falcons on Sunday. Sources say that Hill took all the starter reps at practice this week, despite Jameis taking over at QB after Brees was injured last week. Shannon, are you surprised?
Well, that tells me, Skip, they got special things that his kid's going to run. And when the course of the week, I guess when you're running your normal offense, Jameis is taking snaps after Drew in the normal offense. And so they say they're going to tailor this offense this week, especially for Taysom Hill. But I ain't surprised. I'm shocked they're going in this direction.
I am shocked and I am scared because I root for Tom Brady to win that division. And I thought with Jameis at the helm, at least for a game or two, in New Orleans, I had a chance. Jameis has been a turnover machine in his career. He played okay in the wake of Drew going out with his fractured ribs the other day. He was 6 of 10 for 63 yards, but his QBR was 9 in that game. The other numbers don't look so bad. But listen, Taysom Hill annihilated Tampa Bay in that game.
But that ain't saying nothing, Skip.
Well, it's saying
Nick Foles got you.
Because a lot of people thought that was the best defense in pro football going into that game. And look what, he had a QBR in that game, Taysom Hill did, of 100. I've never heard of a 100 QBR. He went 2 of 2 throwing for 48 yards with a 29-yarder. He ran 7 times for 54 yards. That's 7.7 a crack. Yeah. And he looked like, and I'm a big Tebow fan, but he looked like an even better Tim Tebow.
Yeah, I think he can throw the ball better than Tebow, Skip.
I don't know. I don't think his arm's any stronger.
No, I don't think it's stronger, but I think he's more accurate than Tebow.
Except in the last 5 minutes of games, Tebow was dead.
Well, we haven't seen him in the last 5 minutes of the game, so we're probably going to have to see. We might see that because Atlanta can score now.
He looks more athletic.
Oh,
than
yeah, he's
Tebow.
definitely more athletic.
Whew.
Yeah, he's faster than Tebow.
Yeah,
But
he's definitely fast. Oh,
Yeah.
he can fly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought last year, I told you sitting right here that they would go with him instead of Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
And I was shocked when they went with Teddy Bridgewater, but it worked
No,
because he went 5-0.
Yeah, I was and parlayed that into a nice contract in Charlotte. But Skip, I am not in Carolina. Excuse me. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they're going in this direction because, like I said, when normally you think the guy that comes off the bench when the starter gets injured, that's the guy that they're going to go with.
So, do you think it's the right move?
I guess Sean. Hey, I'm not going to doubt Sean Payton. He's been too good at calling plays and doing what he does. I'm not going to doubt him.
So they're a 4-point favorite over Atlanta, and I like their chances better with Taysom Hill than with Jameis.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
He scares me.
Well,
I think he could lift the whole franchise up.
Well, I tell you, I like my chances with Jared Goff even better. I like my chance with Jared Goff.
I do too, because he'll give it back to you.
Whatever.
Again and again.
Atlanta's not an easy win, Skip.
They
got
come back
firepower
together.
offense.
I know. I got it.
Well, I can't wait for Sunday, but that's all we have for you today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back Monday at 9:30 Eastern.